Good evening, believers. How are you doing today? This is Love Coach Dasha, struggling to get online tonight, but I am here for the Healing Hour Live. Now, if you've never been with me for the Healing Hour Live, I am here to help women who want to stay and reconcile after infidelity. You have your reasons, but mostly it's because you love this person. This is your honey. This is the person that you want to be family with. This is the person that you want to forgive, and you're trying to do that. You're trying to figure out how to do that. I am here to tell you how to do that. All right. I had all types of technical difficulties. I could not get my computer to go on. It just was not accepting my password like it wasn't my password. Oh, but that's okay. That's all right. I am here now. Hopefully, you're here with me. Let me make sure I can see everything well. If you've never been with me before and you're on Facebook with me, go to streamyard.com/Facebook. It will let me see your name on my screen so that I can call you by name if we are talking. All right. Fantastic. I think that's straight. All right. So, I'm a little late, so we'll go a little late. It's all good. We can work this out. If you're here with me now, make sure you give me likes, make sure you give me love, make sure you said hi, because I want to know that you're here with me. Come chat with me tonight. All right. So, first things first, what I'm always going to tell you about is that this is a trauma. All right. We've got to work with that. We've got to figure out how to heal from that. We've got to regulate our big emotions, calm ourselves down, get ourselves nice and centered before we can really do anything about the healing. All right. So, the things that I'm going to tell you right now, the things that you're going to be able to do to start that process, to start calming down, to start getting a grip on those big emotions, to not let them overwhelm you, not let them drown you, okay? They are big emotions. Your brain, your body, your biochemistry is all designed to try and protect you when you've been traumatized. And you should be absolutely grateful for that. That is a wonderful thing about our bodies and our brains. However, it's kind of a pain in the ass if you're trying to heal, if you're trying to be with that same person. These alarm bells keep going off in your brain. So what you have to do is get back in control of what your brain is thinking and doing. All right. So the first thing that will help you with that, that's always going to help you with that, is to do your deep breathing. Have you been doing your deep breathing? If you have not been doing your deep breathing, I'm telling you, you're doing yourself a disservice. You need to start doing that on a regular basis, five times a day. That's what I do. Okay. And more is fine. Okay. More oxygen is always a beautiful thing. All right. It's never going to be a bad thing. Go ahead and go for it more if you can. But what you're trying to do is bring that anxiety level that comes along with the trauma down to a more manageable level. Every time you do the deep breathing, you are convincing your brain, hey, I am in control here. Things are fine. I don't need to be afraid. I don't need to be worried. I don't need to be feeling all toxic and afraid. I don't need that. I don't need that reaction from you, brain. Thank you very much for helping me, but I don't need it. All right. That's what we're going for you to acknowledge your brain's contribution, but to let it know that you are actually indeed in charge and you do not need it to go on autopilot for you. Okay. So I do 4-7-8 breathing. Now you can do any kind of breathing you desire, but do it five times a day. Okay. 4-7-8 breathing is what we're going to do is blow out, and we're going to make the noise when we blow out. Make that sound with your mouth. That is going to become a trigger to you. That's going to become in your brain. Your brain is going to say, I know what that sound means. That sound means that we're coming down. It means that she is in control of this ship and everything is going to be just fine. She's okay. She does not feel like she's in any kind of danger. Everything is going to be all right. All right. So do that, blow out. Then you're going to inhale for a count of 4. You're going to hold that breath for a count of 7. And then you're going to blow out for a count of 8. All right. You're going to do it with me. Hey, Mama Con, I see you over there on Instagram. Hi, girl. Just in time to do your deep breathing with me. All right, so we're going to do our deep breathing, 4-7-8, and I will count you down, all right? First things first, blow out. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. Hey there, Mama Khan. Hi, I'm glad you're here, girl. How's it feel when you're doing your deep breathing? How does it feel for everybody that's here with me to do your deep breathing? When you breathe along with me like that, when you get that full deep breath of oxygen, when you're letting that excess carbon dioxide out of your lungs, doesn't it feel better? It feels better to your body and to your brain. Oxygen is always a good thing. Hey, I was a nurse for 20 years, and oxygen always helps with the pain. If you can breathe, if you can get a full deep breath in, a lot of the time you're going to help with whatever pain that you're having. When you're having pain, it restricts your breathing. All right. You don't breathe very well when you are in pain. So if you start purposely, deeply, fully breathing, all right, you are going to get to a good place. All right. Okay, you said, well, it's coming up on the 2-year D-Day. How do you get over the pain? I am mostly okay, but some days, oh my God, I can't hold it together. But see, that's the thing. You're mostly okay. As you're coming up on that second anniversary, you got to take that back. Got to take that day back. This is not a bad time. This is not a bad day. Make up something good for you all. What did you all do last year for the anniversary? Didn't you do something together, hang out together, do something nice together? I say do that. Do something really nice for the two of you, just for the two of you. Just hang out, have some fun, just really try and focus on your relationship. How the fact that it's 2 years later, you made it 2 years out. 2 years later, most people are just still seething. Like if you're mostly okay, most days you're doing really well. It's 2 years later. Most days you're fine. Every now and again, it'll just dawn on you. And I bet you sometimes that's got to do with hormones or, typical stress about the day and not necessarily about him. So you gotta celebrate. You gotta celebrate that 2-year anniversary with some fun stuff, All right. All right, good. I'm glad. I hope you do some fun stuff. Let me know what you do. All right, let's see. Second thing that I'm always going to tell you to do every single time we get together that is going to help with your trauma, that is going to help you deal with the big emotions, is doing your journaling. Sit down, do your journaling, okay? I need you to do 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening. That's all I'm asking you for. I'm not asking you for an entire book. I'm not asking you for 300 pages, okay? 5 minutes. That's enough to pour out the stuff that's right on the top. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that's bubbling to the surface. You're able to write that down real quick in 5 minutes. Write that down. Okay, it's down on paper. It's something that you can think about. It's something that can be turned around in your brain as you're going through your day or as you're going to sleep at night. Just 5 minutes, okay? Just go ahead and start doing it because it feels like that's not enough. And I want you to know that it's enough. If you start a practice of journaling on a regular basis, first thing in the morning, right before you go to bed, you're going to have information in that journal that's going to help you. As you are healing, it's going to make you start to see things a little different, be able to heal a little bit better. So I want you to go ahead and start that practice. If you haven't been doing it, start, all right? Just get into the flow of it. See what comes out when you write for about 5 minutes about your feelings. See what comes out when you're about to go to bed and you're like, what can I let go of for today? It is an excellent practice. It starts to help you with those feelings, all right? Date, time, level of anxiety. Every time you write your journal entry at the very top, I want you to write all of that. And then at the bottom, your level of anxiety again. So level of anxiety is 0 to 10. 0 is no anxiety whatsoever. All is right with the world. I am glad if you get to that point. 10 is a loss of control. So you're not really going to be writing a 10 in your journal. If you are at a loss of control, you want to rip your hair out, tear your clothes off, run screaming down the street naked, you're not sitting down writing in a journal. Okay? Just understand that about yourself. So if you're feeling like you're up there, but you're not at a loss of control, you're not at a 10. All right. Write that as you start journaling and then as you finish journaling. You're going to come up with every time. It's going to bring that level of anxiety down some every single time. Pouring some of it out, getting it out of your head, putting it down on the paper is cathartic. It lets it go. So it's going to help you every time you do it. So if you do it frequently, it's going to help you a lot. Okay. I want you to be consistent with it. All right. Let's see. Daytime level of anxiety. Yes. Put that all in there. Make sure you're writing in your journal. It's super important for you to be able to come back to later because you can piece together things a lot simpler. You will know the answers to the questions that you've been wanting to ask because you've already asked them. Your brain will just forget that you asked them, but you probably already asked. And if you start writing that stuff down in your journal, then your journal will remind you that you've already asked. All right. Third thing, as always, every Thursday is Thirsty Thursday. I want to hear some good stuff. I want to hear good things that happen to you this week. Things that you are grateful for, things that you are happy about, things that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe things really worked out well. I want to hear all about it. So if you're here with me now, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, I don't care where you are, give me some good news. Tell me something positive that happened in your life this week. What we're trying to do is find reasons to be grateful, okay? You need to focus on gratitude if you're going to heal. Gratitude is a big enough emotion that it can calm a lot of emotions. Gratitude is true no matter what your trauma says. You know that you are grateful for your children. All right. Your trauma can't argue that you shouldn't have children. Your trauma cannot tell you that that's not something to be grateful for. Okay. You can't argue with being grateful for the internet. You can't argue with that. Your brain is like, oh, but no buts. The internet is a beautiful thing. I am grateful for it out here in this world. Thank goodness that it's a thing. All right. It stops those negative thoughts in their tracks if you are consistently looking for that I'm so grateful thing. Okay. The more you look for it, the more your brain will look for it for you as well. You won't have to work so hard. Right now, it's hard. It's hard to see the good things. It's hard for you to pick them out and actually grasp them. But if you are constantly looking for things to be grateful for, your brain will start picking up on that and will start pointing those things out to you. And it will stop arguing with you about whether it's good or not. You know things that you can be grateful for. All right. And it's a much shorter step from misery to gratefulness than it is from misery to complete healing to happiness. It's a shorter step to get to. So if you develop that habit of being grateful every single solitary day, you are going to get to the place where your brain takes over and stops looking for the negative and it starts looking for the positive. That's how we're going to get out of this trauma. All right. So tell me about your good news. Caroline has that we had a great Easter holiday camping with the kids. Hubby did so much with getting ready and setting up. He really stepped up. Caroline, oh, isn't that so sexy when they do that? When they just go ahead and start taking over and packing things and making sure things are right. Oh, it's something, isn't it? And mine is good at that. Mine is real good. He's real organized. So if we're going somewhere, like he has like everything packed. But oh, it's so good. I'm glad you had a good time and that you and your honey are getting along. That's so beautiful. All right. Anybody else got anything good that happened this week you want to share? You want me to shout you out? Don't sit there and be quiet. Come on here and talk to me. All right, let's see. Well, you go ahead and type, and I'll move on to the next thing. The next thing that I'm always going to tell you every single time we get together, stop asking all those damn questions. Stop it. Stop it. I know it's a big thing, that whole full disclosure thing. I'm here to tell you, you're not ready for full disclosure. Not at the beginning, not when you're trying to do this, not when you're trying to get control of these big emotions, to gather yourself up off the floor after the devastation. You're not ready for those answers, okay? As you heal, that is preparing you for the answers. Okay? As you go, you can understand better because your brain isn't impaired. If you have been traumatized, your brain is impaired. You asking all these kind of big questions, and then you can't understand how it all links up. You don't even really believe what he's saying. All right? I know that all the experts out there besides me will tell you all full disclosure before anything else can happen. And I'm here to tell you that most women that I talk to, number one, know what they want before they get all that disclosure. Okay. That's the first thing. They know exactly what they want to do, whether they want to stay or they want to go. They know that before the disclosure. And then the second thing is, the disclosure is not going to help you heal. It does not fix you. It does not give you any extra trust. It does not make you feel any better. It does not help with anything in this trauma. All right. So there's no need. There's no need. Let it go. Okay. If you have questions right now, just accept that you have had enough answers to be able to heal from where you are. I know your brain is probably telling you that you need all of these answers if you're ever going to heal. And I'm here to tell you, your brain is lying to you, okay? That is not true. You are going to be able to heal. All right. Mama Kanye said, I'm sure I don't know the whole truth. I am sure that I don't either. Okay, I am positive of that. It has been 16 years. I'm pretty sure that I don't either. Just the other day, just right before we moved in here, so maybe about 3-4 weeks ago, he connected something about his cheating that I didn't even connect. All right. It took him 15 years to be able to piece it together and figure it out. So how in the world could I know everything? There's no way in the world. You can't know what's going on in somebody else's brain anyhow. There is their version, there is the other person's version, and then there's the truth of what happened. Okay. You don't have to worry too much about trying to get all of those versions to line up, because they will not. All you need to do is worry about healing yourself, getting to a better place so that you can have better understanding, so that when more information comes, you're ready for it. Okay? If you are getting the information and you're gathering it up, but your brain is still super traumatized, your emotions are all over the place, you're not regulated, you can't get it together, it doesn't matter how much information you get. You're going to forget it, number one, because that's the way trauma works. Your brain will forget things that you are certain that you wouldn't forget. And you are going to give yourself much more difficulty in comprehending, because you keep feeding yourself all that negativity. All right. We got to come up out of it a little bit. We got to be able to get to the place where we are above those feelings for us to be able to truly understand any of the information that we're going to get. All right. Joni said, how do you heal though without the truth and the whole story? Joni, you never needed the whole story. I know that people tell you that. It is a lie. You can heal just fine. All right. There is plenty of stuff in your life where you don't have the whole story, and you can heal just fine without the whole story. It is not necessary. You don't need it. Okay? You don't need it. It keeps you, Mama Khan said, always in fight or flight mode. It keeps you like that when you're constantly worried about, well, what is the truth and what is the story? It is a distraction tactic by your brain that tells you that says, well, you can't heal without the whole story because your brain doesn't want you to heal. Your brain doesn't want that at all. Your brain wants you to continue to be afraid. It said, oh, this was a painful thing, and we don't want this painful thing to ever happen again. So we're going to send every doubt that we can possibly send about you doing this healing thing and try and convince you that you should just roll up into a ball and hide in a corner somewhere. You should not try and heal from this. You should just go ahead and let the pain fester and suffer with it so that this never happens again. Your brain is not trying to get you out of pain. It is trying not to repeat a particular pain. It doesn't care about the pain that you experience with not being close to your honey anymore, constantly worrying about what the story is. It doesn't care about that pain. All it cares about is that pain that caused the trauma. We got to stop that pain from happening again. And so it wants you to hide. It wants you to pull away. It wants you to isolate. Love wants you to connect. Fear wants you to isolate. Okay. That is what we're dealing with here. We've got to understand that the pain is trying its best to get us to isolate. And that's not what we want. We want to be connected. We want to love again. All right. That is what you're going for. That is how you heal, is ignoring what the fear tells you to do. Joni, how do you heal without the truth and the whole story? Do not do what the fear tells you to do. Do what the love wants you to do. That's how you heal. That's exactly that right there is the simplest way that I can put it. Don't listen to the fear, because the fear doesn't want you to heal at all. The fear wants you to isolate. All right. Johnny said, I still feel like I'm the fool as we come up on a year and 10 days. Well, why are you a fool? And okay, all right, I don't believe that you are, but isn't it like some of the height of love to be a fool for love? Don't they make songs about that? Don't we have movies with that name? So like, why? Okay, even if that is the case, even if you are a fool, why would that be a bad thing to be fool for love? To open yourself up and be vulnerable to something, to be vulnerable to forgiving, to be vulnerable to another person, to put your heart on the line, I don't think is a foolish thing to do. I think that is, you know what you want and you're going for it. All right. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong at all. You didn't do anything wrong deciding on love, deciding to stay with the person that you love. That's not doing anything wrong. That's not foolish. Mama Khan, you said you need the info when you're an overthinker. That is the time where you absolutely do not need the information, Mama Khan. that is the time where you absolutely do not need that information. If you are an overthinker, you asking all those questions is just going to make your brain explode. Okay. There is no need for that. You are feeding yourself. If you're an overthinker, naturally what you do is think the worst. And so the more answers that you get, the more you're going to think the worst. And it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger until you're like, oh no, I just can't do this. I cannot handle it. And then you isolate. All right. So no, overthinkers don't get extra information just because they're overthinkers. That's not good for you. All right. At least he said, I feel, oh, okay, wait. Joni, I'm very guarded right now as this is almost a year and I can feel myself that I'm distant. Joni, come talk to me, Joni. I got a new group starting up shortly. I've been wanting to get you in a group for a minute. Come on, talk to me, Joni. Send me a message and we're going to get together and get on a call and you and I can talk about it. All right. You do not need to keep feeling like this. I keep missing you too. I know you signed up for a call before, but somehow or another we just ended up connecting. Send me a message. We're gonna get on a call. All right. You hate that feeling, and I do. Yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks to feel guarded and feel distant, and we got to let the wall down to be able to get better. Elise said, I feel the same way sometimes when I look back and think about it. I try not to. But I realized there were so many red flags and signs of cheating, and I was totally oblivious, and I feel stupid. Elise, that you weren't doing anything stupid. You were just trusting your partner. That's nothing wrong with doing that. Just because he happened to be messing up while you were being trusting doesn't mean that you were wrong for trusting. All right. That is a skill that we have all got to develop. If you're going to be with somebody for the rest of your life, you're going to have to trust them. All right. So if you knew, okay, all right, yeah, he was doing some thinky stuff behind my back, but you've seen all of that now. So you know all his tricks now. So he's not going to ever fool you like that again. All right. Never going to fool you like that again. You will be on it. You will be on every single solitary thing from here on out. All right. So you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about looking foolish again. You will know, because the same thing that happens with your brain being traumatized sends you reminders of things. That's what triggers are. It will remind you of things that he did when he was cheating that will make it very obvious to you if he ever is again. So you don't have to worry about that. You're not stupid. You love the person you love. There is no reason to feel stupid for loving the person you love. Plenty of people stay, work it out, work things out together, keep on going, living together just fine. Happens every day. So you're not in any way strange wanting to do that. People kept trying to make me feel like I was strange, but then it was like everybody I was talking to was saying that they had stayed. So I was like, well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Why am I wrong for it if you did it? But a lot of the time they hadn't been successful at it. They hadn't healed from it. They hadn't done things to actually fix it for themselves. So then they still felt bad about doing it. But if you go ahead and heal, you won't feel bad about it anymore. I don't feel bad about it at all. I don't feel embarrassed. I don't feel like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have done it. It was the best possible decision. And we're going to talk about that too, because that's somebody's question, the advantages to staying. Oh, wow. So true. Thank you for that. You're so welcome. You know how I feel about y'all. I don't want you to feel bad about this decision. You are making a decision for you, for your own heart, for your own well-being. When it came down to it, the idea of not being with him made me cry harder than the idea of healing with him afterward. That's just the way it was. He just is that person for me. Never felt like that about anybody else. But if you have found that person that inspires you to have big forgiveness, okay, has inspired you to open up your heart more than you ever opened up your heart, that is a good thing. That is a blessing. That is a miracle. That is a wonderful thing for your life. And so if you have that, why should you give it up? Why should you? I don't feel like you should have to. If you have recognized that this is the person that makes you feel like you can expand your heart and do one of the hardest things you've ever done, all right? Opening yourself up, risking your own heart, risking your own pain. If you found somebody who's worth all that, then damn, I believe you. I believe that you found that and that you should be able to have that. I think that you absolutely should. All right. Mama Khan, you said one of the hardest things is to remember it wasn't your fault. Yeah, that's true. That is true. You know, you got to remember the sick, sad, and stupid of it all. A lot of the time it's illness. A lot of the time it's sadness, some sort of grief. And a lot of the time it's stupid things that they've been told all their lives. You know what I mean? Like male role models telling them, oh, you got one girl, why don't you get another one? You know, it's never really about the woman that he's cheating with or the woman that he's cheating on. It is about the person doing the cheating. That's the person whose fault it is. But there's no need to get all caught up on the whole fault thing either. It happened. It is what it is. What do we do with it now? It doesn't really matter if it was my fault, your fault, his fault, her fault. What happens now? How do we fix this? How do we continue on with our relationship now? You know what I mean? All right. So we got quick questions. If you got questions, you know I'm here for you, ladies. You know I want to hear all of your questions because I love them all. I do. Now remember, go and get a copy of the Dreams Formula, How to Heal and Reconcile After Infidelity. It is in the top of Instagram. It's the only link I got up in Instagram, and it is on the Facebook page pinned to the top of the post. Okay, so go get yourself a copy, follow along. All right, this is the answer to Monica's question. Monica asked how to forgive, forget, move on. All right, Monica, unfortunately, for pain like this, for trauma like this, chances are you're not going to forget. All right. That's not a problem. Don't you worry about that forgetting part. It's forgiving and moving on that are going to be the thing for you. All right. Forgiving is a verb, it's an action word, it's something you do. All right. A lot of people want to wait for the other person to do enough things that I say, okay, I want to forgive you. I'm saying that's all backwards. I want you to figure out if this is a person that you want to forgive. And the way you will know that is, do you want this person in your life or not? All right? Because if you're not willing to forgive someone, you are saying you do not want them in your life. They will not be continuing on this journey with you. Okay? If this is the person that you want to continue this journey with, you want to raise kids with, you want to continue to see and love and go out on dates with, the same person you want to have sex with, the person you want to grow old with, if they're that person, a lot of the forgiving is in your decision to forgive. If you just make up your mind that you want to forgive, and then every morning you wake up and you say, oh, yeah, I'm forgiving today. And then you look for the ways that you can show that you are forgiving, your brain will pick up on that the same way it picks up on the trauma, the same way it picks up on the triggers, and it can find a trigger in anything. It will find the forgiving thing to do in every situation if you choose it. If you wake up in the morning, you put both feet on the floor and you say, this is the person I love. This is the person I love, and I want to forgive them. Show me ways to forgive them today. And you will find those ways to forgive them every day. It's about trusting them. If there's an opportunity to trust, you trust them. If it's an opportunity to put down the wall and get closer, you get closer. If it's an opportunity to have some intimacy, you have the intimacy. Every time there is an opening, an opportunity, you go for forgiving. All right. And that moves you on. All right. The action of forgiving moves you forward. It moves you on from where you are. And as you do it and you get more practice at it, it gets much, much easier. It's not a thing that is forever hard. It's not. If you are consistent about it, if you make up your mind about the choice that you want to make and you go for it every day, it's not hard for very long. All right. So I want you to get my dreams formula because that gives you step by step. All right. You got to decide, you got to make up your mind what you want. What's going to be your life? You are going to be with them on one path. You are going to be without them on another path. Which path are you choosing? What path from just you and how you feel about them, about your life? What do you want? The path with them or the path without them? All right. And then once you figured that out, it's scary, right? Mom Khan said it's hard to forget, like, oh, it's not just my fault. No, it's not. It's all of those scary thoughts. That's the second thing, is recognizing those scary thoughts that come with a decision to pursue this relationship after this trauma. It is scary. It is a scary thing to do. It is. But that doesn't mean it's not worth it. All right. Scary doesn't mean don't do it. Scary just means that it's scary. Scary means that it's unknown. You're not sure how it's going to go. But if you make up your mind what you want to happen, and then you consistently follow through with that, regardless of what the fear says, more than likely you're going to make it to your goal. All right. Evaluating the why, figuring out why this happened. That's a huge thing. We got to figure out what in the world is wrong with him. Remember, sick, sad, stupid. It's those three things most of the time. Some kind of illness, mental or physical. It could be anything. I didn't know for years that my husband had bipolar disorder. He did not know for years. I found out the same time he found out. He had lived his whole entire life not knowing. Okay, there's a whole bunch of illnesses that people just don't have any clue about. Simple things like your blood work can be off and it can cause depression. Like there's all sorts of stuff that can go wrong inside these bodies that can make you sick. And when we are sick, we are not at our best. We do not do as good as we could do as human beings when we're sick. All right. Sad is grief and loss of some kind. Everybody is not at their best when they've lost something, when they are grieving, when they are distracted, when the pain is great. It's not easy to do your best. It's not easy to be your best version at that point. All right. A lot of people will do things to try and soothe the pain just because they are hurting and end up hurting somebody else. All right. And then there's stupid, which is just understanding all of the stupid things that men and women have been taught about being in relationships, all of the crazy stuff that women got taught, and all the crazy stuff that men got taught. Men get taught that all of their value is wrapped up in sex and money. How many women can you get? That's the only real measure of your worth, is what women will sleep with you. Okay, it's a horrible way to live. It's horrible. It's stupid. But it's just the way most of them come up. And so they all get it into their head that they're supposed to have so many men, all right, so many women, all right. And they end up not realizing that the people that told them this are not happy now. They're not with anybody. They're alone. Their kids don't talk to them. So they've got to start making that connection to understand that, oh, this was stupid and this is why it's stupid, because this is what it gets you. But they don't know that because it's what they've been trained to do. All right. So sick, sad, stupid. Those are the reasons. If you can have compassion for that, if you can understand that this person is hurting and they lashed out in a way because they were hurting, you can get past this. It's easier to give him that compassion and understand that, okay, yeah, you were hurting. You had to be in a bad place to make such a bad decision. You know what I mean? He said mine has a stupidity disorder. He said he did it because he could, his words. That's that stupid stuff. That is because that's what he's supposed to do. Because he's a man and men are supposed to sleep with a whole bunch of women. In his brain, that's what he thought. And they always tell them, well, if you're feeling bad, then having sex with some woman will help you. And it does a lot of the time. That's the sad part about it. A lot of the time, it brings that testosterone level up, makes them feel like a man. They feel wonderful, but they don't realize that they're doing it to feel wonderful because they were feeling bad. They don't get that. They just think that, oh, yeah, of course, I'm supposed to use women to feel good. You know what I mean? Oh, let's see. We got the evaluating the why. Then we got allowing the healing to happen. Okay, doing the things that couples do. Having sex again, putting your ring back on, moving back in the same bed, eating dinner together, going out on dates, hugging, kissing, all of the stuff that couples do. All right, we've got to start doing those things again. We got to start putting that wall down. Every time that wall wants to rise up in your heart and say, I shouldn't kiss him, that's exactly what you should do. I'm not going to hug him. Exactly what you should do, because that voice is the fear. Remember, I told you earlier, don't do what the fear tells you to do. That's how you heal. You cannot listen to that voice screaming at you not to heal and heal. It does not work. All right. Let's see. What else? Allowing the healing to happen. Then managing the future feelings. Triggers. That's what that's about. The triggers are going to be there. Yes. Because it is an automatic thing that got kind of imprinted on your brain when this happened. It kind of goes in a loop. you can defeat the triggers. A big thing about finding out the triggers is to figure out where you feel it in your body. Where do you feel it when you're triggered? If you know where it is when you're triggered, you just watch that spot. For me, it's right here. It's twist and drop every time. It feels like something inside my chest twists and then falls about right here to my solar plexus. I feel it every time. That's exactly what my body does if I am triggered. I know I'm triggered before my brain has sent me that message because my body sent me the message first. Does that make sense? So if you're doing that, paying attention to your body, paying attention to where you feel discomfort when you are triggered, you'll be able to figure out if you're triggered faster. And then you do something about the trigger. Don't worry about trying to make them fix your trigger, okay? Your triggers are designed to show you where you are not healed, okay? That doesn't mean that they need to be doing something to fix it. It means you need to be doing something to fix it, okay? You need to be working on it from the inside out so that it is not a sore place anymore. Nobody else can heal that. Nobody else can do that work. He can't come in and tinker around with the spot where the trigger is and fix that spot up and then make it so that trigger never happens. And don't go around trying to make him like not do the thing. You shouldn't have your phone ringer on because it triggers me. No, we're not doing it like that. All right. We are going to get ourselves together. Not saying, okay, here you have to make all sounds on your phone go away. No, I'm going to hear a sound. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to do my journaling. I'm going to do a little self-care. I'm going to get a grip on my big emotions on my own, recognize that that's a thing, and then I'm going to work on it. That's a place where I am not healed. I got to work on that spot. All right. That's what we're going for with managing those triggers. Mama Con, thank you. I love it too. I love it. I had it rewrapped the other day because it broke. The wire broke, but I love it. I think it's so cute. Thank you. All right, let's see. Last thing is seeking support. All right, that's why you're here with me. All right, I want you all to reach out to me. Everybody that's here with me right now, send me a message. I can talk to you about this. I can get you to a better place. I guarantee you, we can talk for about 45 minutes. That's how long our my consultations are. You're going to talk to me for about 45 minutes. At the end of that 45 minutes, not only are you going to feel better, not only are you going to be smiling and feeling like some of that weight is lifted, you're going to know what to do next, okay? You're not going to be alone anymore. You're going to have specific things that I can help you with, that you can do on your own, that are going to help you to heal. So if you are having a hard time with this, seek some support. Come on, talk to me, send me messages, DM me, message me on Facebook, wherever you would like to. I want to hear from you. I want to help you get through this. I want you to forgive and move on and get to the next story in your book, okay? You are still living the fairy tale that you thought you were, all right? When you fell all in love and you were like, oh, this is my fairy tale, this is my happily ever after, but then the cheating happened and you were like, maybe this is not my fairy tale. I am here to tell you it is your fairy tale. It's just the after part. This is after they're like, oh, and they lived happily ever after. Okay, there was a whole life after that, right? There was a whole life of magic and mystery and all sorts of things that happened after that point. Most of the fairy tales are just telling you about the very beginning of the story. We're in the middle, okay? We're working through the middle of the story, getting to the end of the story. Taylor, hey girl, see you over there. But that's what we're going for. We're trying to get through the next part of this story. If you were enchanted before, I'm trying to tell you, you are still enchanted, okay? Your story goes on. We can get to the point where we can flip past this chapter and you can start a whole brand new, more beautiful story with less conflict. Okay, we could do that. You say you was late for because you said happy hour. Well, I'm glad that you made it. I was late because I couldn't get on here, so I'm still going for like another 20 minutes. So you didn't miss too much. But yes, we gotta work on this. We gotta work on these steps. That's in the dreams formula. All right. Even if you don't work with me, even if you don't send me a message, I'm gonna be hurt if you don't. But even if you don't send me a message and get on a call with me and get some support from me directly, get the dreams formula. All right. Go to the pin post in Facebook. Go to the top of my profile in Instagram. All you got to do is click on the link, put in your name and email. I will send you out a copy and you just follow it from there. That's all you need to do. Start following along. It's the pathway, the healing path to forgiving and moving on. All right. So I hope that answered your question, Monica. Let's see. The other question I thought was a good question today was from Christina. Let me make sure. Any other questions, comments, thoughts, complaints? No. Don't see any other ones. All right. You all let me know if you have any other questions. Because I love to answer them. But Christina had a good question. She said, Christine, not Christina. Christine said, for those of us that have stayed, coming up on my 1 year D-Day, the advantages and good stuff of staying. I'm so glad I did. I am so glad that you are so glad, Christine. I am glad that you know that you made this right decision. There are a lot of good advantages. Okay, as you're going through it, the first one is knowing that you can make a good decision for yourself and follow through with it. And even if people are telling you, oh no, that's not the right decision for you, you know that it's the right decision for you. You start to feel like a grown up. You start to feel like you could be a bad bitch. You have made a decision that other people are a little uncomfortable with. They don't think that they can be able to work it out, but you think that you can. And I believe you. I think that you can. I did it, so I don't see why you couldn't either. So it makes you feel good about yourself when you make these hard decisions for your life, choose them and stick with them and then get good results. Okay, that's the first thing. You couldn't tell me nothing. After I figured out the whole dreams formula, I started applying that stuff every single solitary day. Every time I started to get into it with them, I was like, what part of the dreams formula is this? Okay, yeah, this is me making my decision. Yeah, this is me feeling afraid. Every time I applied it, it worked. And it's like freaking magic, okay? I want you to experience it because it's so good, okay? It feels so good. You feel like an enchantress. You're like, all I had to do was say a couple words, wave my fingers a little bit, bibbity bobbity boo. I'm getting good results from this. He is acting different. He is changing. He is becoming who I need him to become. He's doing all the things that he can possibly do to make me feel better. As you do it more and more, it becomes like second nature to you. And then as you go along, it becomes like second nature to him. He starts to behave better and better as you're going along. All right. That's the huge thing. That's the huge thing about doing this, about making up your mind to do it, is that what you're doing is leading them out of the woods. Like you found the healing path. What you got to do is jump on the path and start walking. All right. You got to start hiking up out of the woods. And he is going to see the back of you. And he is going to realize, oh shit, she must know the way out of these woods. Let me follow her. And then he'll start following right behind you. It's like magic. It makes you feel like, I must be magical. I must be, because I cannot believe this. He's reacting like this. All right. As you go along, as he's finally understanding that, okay, she is really not going to leave me for this. She really actually loves me so much that she's willing to forgive me for this, not keep throwing it in my face, not keep suffering going behind it. She really does love me like that. It is mind-blowing to most of them. To be forgiven by somebody who loves you, most people have not experienced that. You tell me, have any of you experienced that, being forgiven by somebody who loves you? Like really being forgiven. Most people will say that they forgive you, but they ain't gonna talk about you later. They ain't gonna talk about you in secret. It's not usually like real active forgiving. It's just like, oh, I forgive you. And then they still act like they don't. And that is terrible. If you have a relationship like that, if you've had the cheating and that is what is going on in your relationship, it's not going to go well. But to actually show the person that you love that, yes, I forgive you. Yes, I do. I love you enough to forgive you for something atrocious you did, something absolutely awful, something I know that you know was a terrible thing to do. I'm willing to forgive you for that. That right there lets them know, oh, this person really loves me. Not only really loves me, is willing to show it on a huge level. So what can I do to show them? What can I do to show them that I love them? All I got to do is ask. All I got to do is say, hey, this is the thing that I want, and my husband will do it for me. Anything, because I've already shown I love him and I'm willing to do just about anything for him. So he's willing to do just about anything for me. Okay. I get the kissing that I want. He's not romantic like I am, because that's part of the stupid thing. We get a whole bunch of Hallmark movies and they don't get that. But I get all of the things that I can ask for, just willingly given, freely given, because he knows I love him and he's like, let me show you how much I love you. All right. So that's a good thing about staying. That's another good thing about staying. I think it is a very good lesson for your children. I know that people will always say, oh, well, it's horrible to tell your girl children that they should stay and be in a relationship where they got cheated on. Absolutely, they should not be cheated on, okay? But it is a thing that happens. And if this is the person that they want to spend the rest of their life with, they're going to have to learn about forgiving that person. That's what it is. And if you have shown that example, if you've said, look, your father has acted up, he did terrible things, but he got himself together, he is doing better, I'm forgiving him, we are a family, and we don't just abandon each other because we did the wrong thing. That's not a horrible thing to teach your kids. It's really not. Also, I think that especially if your kids are mad about the cheating, showing them that yes, you can be mad, but you can also forgive is not a bad thing to teach them either. I don't think that's I think that's one of the things that you need them to know about love and about relationships. If you want them to have a healthy, happy marriage with somebody in the future, they have to know to put that person first, to forgive that person of a lot of things, because you're going to have to forgive for a whole lifetime. They're going to need to know that. And so showing them this example of loving someone enough to forgive them, I think is a great example to show your children. I don't know. What are the good things about it? You understand more as you go along, as you get healed. Like I said, some things don't come out right off the bat. Parts of the story will come to light or come to the surface, and then you'll be like, oh, I get what was going on a little bit better now. So it's good as you heal, it gets clarity in your brain. It's not so crowded up there. It's not so cloudy. It's not so much stuff all floating around in your brain. And so you start to get a grip. You can understand, you can put the pieces together much better than you could if you hadn't healed. So I think that that's always an advantage too, is you understand better the further out you get. Because what they say, hindsight is 2020. That's what the thing is. We all want to do the whole full disclosure thing and find out all the answers now. But your vision will be more clear going backward. It will be more clear as you get to a better place emotionally and you can comprehend the things that happen. Kayla 96, glad you're here. All right, let's see. Anything else? Anything else you want to talk to me about? Anything else that you are concerned with? Any other questions? Well, let me refresh this. Looks like I got another question. Refresh. Come on. All right. Let's see. Caroline. Hey, Caroline. Glad you're here. So I think staying is hard and maybe harder than leaving in some ways, but leaving is not going to be a walk in the park either. I do think that. I do. So I think in the long run, if we make this work, it will be the best for both of us. And that's what it is. That's got to be your reason. That you think that it'd be best for both of you. You want to be together. You want to be happy. If you get that in your brain, then that helps you get to that place. But yeah, I think staying is a lot of the time the more difficult thing to do, because if you just walk away, you can kind of isolate for a while and stuff down all of the healing that you need to do for a while. So you can actually like put it aside for a good little while. You can go get a rebound and date somebody for a little while. There are other distractions that you can use. But if you stay, you got to start working on it. You cannot just stay and then think that you're just going to be miserable and rebounding and doing all of that to this person. You actually have to focus on, okay, what do I want this relationship to be? Who do I want to be in this relationship? Do I want to be awful? Do I want to be mad? Do I want to be bitter all the time? I don't want that. So you actually have to think about what you want and start following through on it if you stay. If you leave, you got a little extra time. You got a little extra time to sit there and be mad. At least you said the dating pool is trash too. I know, right? It's being the dating pool. Having to meet new potential in-laws, new friends of your spouse, wondering if the new person will be good around your kids. Yeah, starting over is rough. I like the idea that I didn't have to start over. This was the person that I wanted to be married to for my entire lifetime. When he and I were talking about it from the very beginning, it was like, look, I'm not signing any papers, and neither are you. We're not doing that. We're not going to be divorced. So whatever it is that happens, we're just going to have to work it out. You can go to your neutral corner. I do go to my neutral corner. We'll just be mad at each other for a minute, and then we're going to have to get over it because we're not getting any divorces around here. So I don't want to ever have to go back to dating. Oh my God, dating sucked. I don't want to have to go back to dating. Okay. So I was trying to stay with being married. And this is the person that I wanted to be with. This is the person that I wanted to spend my entire life with. If you're going to spend your entire life with somebody, you're going to have to forgive them a whole bunch over a whole lifetime. You're trying to live to 80, 90 years old with somebody. Yeah, you're going to have to forgive them a lot. All right. They get better and better as the years go by, and you get better and better as the years go by. You get better at being a couple, better at being married. But yeah, you're still going to have to forgive each other a lot. Right? It's going to have to happen. There's no reason for you to be mad about it. You got to accept that as part of the package. Even in the vows, they tell you there's going to be bad times. There's going to be hard things that you go through. This person is the person that you're going to love regardless of all those things. It's a little hard. It's a little difficult, but I don't want to be single either. So I just knew he was the one. I knew he was the one for me. I knew he was the person that made me feel the best about being me. I don't think I felt as great about being me as I have since I met him. And he just loves me. He just loves all the weird, all of the strange things that I do and say and behave. Like, he is just in love with all of it. So it is partially him being the person that he is, the person that I love, such a good, loyal, um, he's just an outstanding man. Like, men love him. Men love to be around my husband. And then how he feels about me. I know that he loves me deeply, madly, truly. I know that he would do just about anything for me. And I know that he accepts me exactly the way I am and thinks that I'm a riot. He thinks I'm funny. I make him giggle all the time. So just knowing that we are that person for each other, it makes it so much easier. It's like, no, we're not gonna bail. We're not gonna do that. We are gonna be together. We're gonna work things out. Nobody's getting divorced. Nobody's leaving. We're not doing that. Right? It was so funny the other day. I was telling him about Reddit stories. I've been into Reddit stories. I love to hear a story. And so I was telling him, this dude was like, found out that his wife cheated on him like 20 years ago before they got married. And he left her. And I was like, I don't know if I could, I don't get that. And my husband, like his palms got sweaty. He was like, after 20 years, he just left her? He was like, oh no, that is never happening. We are never doing that. I was like, okay, all right. I'm so glad that your palms got sweaty on that, because I feel the same way about that. There is no way in hell that we're leaving each other after 20 years. It's not going to happen. And we're at 20 years. We're definitely not going to do it. It was like it broke him out a cold sweat to think about, oh, God, leaving after all that time? No, I'm not going to do it. So, as you go along, as the years pass by, things get easier and easier. It's a lot more fun. The kids get older, you get a lot more free time. Things go well. You just got to go ahead and accept that the story did not go exactly the way you wanted it to. Things didn't go right. And that's a good story, okay? There is no story out that you have ever read that didn't have any conflict in it. That was not an interesting story to read. You did not want to read a story with no conflict. You are in the story part where you are dealing with the conflict, and it is the triumph over that conflict that makes it be like the ending is just spectacular because you got past that thing. And so that's what we're trying to do right now. It's just trying to tell our stories, get to the end of this particular chapter, start our next chapter a little bit happier, a little bit healthier. All right. Let me see. I don't see any other questions. Any other questions? I always saying there's pee in the dating pool. I don't want to have to start all over. I found the person for me. And like the world tilted a little bit when I heard his voice first time, because I met him on the phone, and the first time I heard his voice, like the world shifted a little bit for me. Nobody ever did that before. Not meeting anybody else never worked like that before. So I knew from the very beginning that he was that person. I believed it, and he has shown me time and time again that he is that person. He is. He was the one for me. Oh. All right. That's about all I got for today. We're going to talk about our affirmations real quick. Now, I told you about the stuff that you can do. I need you to do your deep breathing. I need you to do your journaling. I need you to be grateful. I need you to stop asking all those kind of picking questions. All right. Those things you can do pretty easily. This is another thing that you can do pretty easily. I want you to start doing affirmations for yourself. I want you to start telling yourself good things about yourself, because it's hard. Like, we're all, like all the women there that have said to me today, it's hard that, I feel like a fool and I feel stupid. you're not a fool. You're not stupid. You are just pursuing love. You are pursuing your adventure. All right. This is not for anybody else. This is not something that anybody else could be able to do. You're doing something extraordinary. Okay. Just because you're doing something extraordinary and other people don't think that they could do such a thing doesn't mean you're doing the wrong thing. It just means you're doing something so extraordinary that they can't comprehend. All right. You're doing it. You're doing the thing. You are forgiving. You are loving again. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you doing that. Okay. There is nothing wrong with it. I promise you, you are not doing anything wrong pursuing exactly what you want out of this life. All right. So, you got to start telling yourself good things about yourself. Got to start telling yourself positive things about how you are, who you are, the things that you want out of your life, what you want your fairy tale to look like. Okay. So, we're going to do this affirmation, and it's a good one for today. Today I will forgive. Look at that. Didn't I tell you from the very beginning? That's what you got to do. Wake up every morning and put both feet on the floor and decide today is a day that I am forgiving. I will forgive. I do forgive. I have forgiven. All right. In every way, shape, and form, I am experiencing forgiveness. Okay. Today I will forgive. Today I will forgive any past mistakes I have made and love myself unconditionally. You're not making a mistake choosing love. That's not a mistake. That is an excellent, brave thing to do. And I love you for it, and I'm proud of you for it. Okay. I want to help you do it because I know what the power is in what you're doing. I know that you're going to feel like Superwoman after you've accomplished this. I know that this is going to teach you and help you grow in ways that are going to help you with other things along the line that you don't even know about yet. All right. The idea that I had to stand tall in my decision to go ahead and forgive him and be with him anyway. All right. Just doing that gave me the strength to stand tall in front of all the women who are in these groups and say, oh, well, you got to have this, that, and the third, and your mate has got to do these things for you to be able to heal, for me to be able to stand tall and be like, you know what? No, I found out that doesn't work. Here, I want you to know what really does work. And it is going to be beautiful. You're going to be happy. You are going to work things out with in your relationship after this infidelity if you do these things. All right. It helped me to be strong enough to do that because it was a tidal wave of women as I was trying to figure it out, as I was trying to write my book. I was trying to figure out exactly like why everybody is so against being happy and in love with somebody because they cheated. And I know that, that comes from the patriarchy. I know that most women couldn't leave before. We have the opportunity. We have every opportunity in the world. We could leave if we wanted to, but I'm here to say that you have the choice now. It's not just because, oh, you have a choice, so you have to leave now. You have a choice. You are not trapped. You can stay or you can go. And if you are choosing to stay, you are choosing to stay because this is a person that you love and you want to be with. Not because you are being forced into it, not because you're afraid for your life, not because you don't have any money. You are staying because you choose to. And that's a huge difference. All right. So today I will forgive. Today I will forgive any past mistakes I have made and love myself unconditionally. And I hope you do. Let me know if you are forgiving yourself and forgiving your boo this week. Okay. All right. Any other questions, comments, thoughts, complaints? Everybody that's been here with me, send me a message. I want to talk to you, okay? I want to talk to you one-on-one. I want to help you feel better. I want to help you get to a better place. Because this is exhausting, but I'm trying to tell you, you can get so much better. It gets so much better. All right. All righty, y'all. That's it. That's all I got for today. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. Please remember to do your deep breathing, your journaling, your gratitude practice, and stop asking all those questions. Do your affirmations. Look yourself in the eye and tell yourself that affirmation like you mean it. And I love you. And I'm so, so proud of you for doing this. You're not wrong. You're not wrong for loving who you love and wanting to forgive. There is nothing wrong with that. Those are admirable traits. Those are courageous things to do. And you're a bad bitch because of it. Okay? I'm just telling you. Alrighty, y'all. That's about it. I will check you all out next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Healing Hour Live. Until then, you're so welcome. Until then, bye over Instagram and bye over here on Facebook and YouTube. Bye.